Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back for another Yugioh Pro Duel video. Traptrix, new, well, post-Lightning Overdrive, I guess, for the DCG 41 cards here in the main deck. A couple of things might seem strange, maybe double Stratos, you know, normal summon, search something, while the new one, I believe from Lightning Overdrive, right, also a 2-of in the deck. I don't want to, you know, give the deck more normal summons, or too many normal summons for the, you know, then again, but consistency, you just, like, the ideal opening hand for this particular deck, I guess, is opening up one Traptrix, Mermelio, or Mermelio, however again you want to pronounce the name, to get a search, a whole card search, the Book of Moon, or, you know, the Hand Trap Negator. Both are fine as well. I've played the deck already a couple of months ago with, at least when Konami announced the Amazement archetype, and I started with playtesting Amazement again in the deck because of their boss monster, very easy to summon, plus the flexibility of activating traps from the deck, the Book of Moon one mainly. I guess that's cool. But I eventually opted to drop it, to drop that small portion, that small Amazement engine for double Traptrix and double Storming Mirror Force, right? You know this deck. It's like I feel very similar to stuff like Kuro Control, Altergeist, the decks you really don't want to play against because they main deck a huge amount of traps, and then again, well, obviously decks are prepared for those stun decks, trap-heavy decks. Same cards that are here in the quote-unquote side deck as well. Lightning Storm, evenly matched, you know, the good stuff. Which is, of course, the biggest weakness of this deck, right? But still, the thing, though, is that with the new Traptrix, the new link to their rank 4 Exceed, or Exceeds, Rafflesia as well, you know, Sarah, mainly Sarah. She's the bread and butter of the deck, I guess. The deck can grind through your opponent's resources quite fast. Plus, at the same time, because of their new link, the Exceed as well, it can get back your resources quite easily. Let's say from the graveyard, right, or, you know, from the deck eventually, thanks to Sarah. So cool stuff, but I mean, it's Traptrix. It's a deck that definitely wants to go first. You could make your, yeah, I was about to say that you could maybe main deck some cards for going second, and I'm looking at hand traps basically, because for now the deck counts 41 cards. The list that I'm using is has 2 Blossom, so 2 hand traps, I guess. Because the thing is that you want to, and that might sound strange, but you want to have as many traps as possible, if that makes sense, especially if you're going first. But again, the problem is if you're going second. I've one of those ready, but it speaks for itself that, like, game number 1 pre-side deck, you'll definitely struggle if you're playing against combo. You know, your opponent ending on Appaloosa, Burl Sword, or, you know, Burl Savage, plus another Omnication, plus hand traps. Okay, a lot of decks struggle against that, but you know what I mean. This deck does not have the capability to break boards, and that's why I do like Excited Knight in the extra deck. Same for Zeus, even though it's not really too common to summon it, but Excited Knight is you know, quite accessible for the deck. 2 level 4s, right? So the Traptrix is there. Again, a very flexible trap, just, you know, basic, and that's why I like the Storing Mirror Force also in the main deck, because people don't expect it, right? People don't expect any Mirror Force, and I'm looking at, I think, the better of the bunch. Well, Sandstorm might also be decent, but it seems, you know, with links and so on, the Storing Mirror Force might indeed be a bit better to bounce back everything from your opponent back to the hand as soon as they declare an attack, right? Plus, it's searchable out of Traptrix. Sure, your opponent knows that they're, you know, it's set. But, I mean, it could catch people off guard, so that's just one of the reasons why I like it. And the second reason is, again, as I mentioned before, the Traptrix deck, because it's so, you know, heavily reliant on traps, control-based, heavy control-based deck, it does have a lot of difficulties of dealing with established boards, and you know, something like triple torrential as well, definitely a staple, because again, your extra deck, most of the extra deck monsters are quite, you know, stuff like torrential tribute does not hinder them, so that's cool. triple torrential is definitely a staple for the deck. Same for Prosperity, Extravagance. Prosperity, I guess, to dig deeper for the potential Traptrix monster, the potential Trap as well. The Imperm definitely helped. I guess Imperm, or at least LP4 Rocket Tracer, right? Because we see the Rocket Field spell. Again, Tracer would have searched another rocket monster and so on and so on, right? So Boot Sector Launch definitely would have been live as well. But I mean, let's face it, who plays Imperm these days in the current format? Then again, there are so many different decks allowed or possible in our current, June 2021 format. Our current format is quite diverse, even though it's, remote duel based. So yeah, anyway, Sarah's unaffected, that's also, I like that. The fact that she's unaffected by traps, no Imperm, Torrential, right? Stuff like that. So that's cool. Okay, she does have low attack points. There is stuff like Rafflesia to make her, give her some more protection, I guess. Maybe, as you might have seen already in the duels, is I should have respected Nibiru a bit more, rather than, as the deck can go for like the standard, or well, I mean quote unquote, it's not really the standard opening, but let's say if you have like a Traptrix normal summon plus the Phantom Knight Trap Shade Brigandine, you could go for, let's say, Sarah plus Rafflesia on your 5th summon. And, if your opponent does have Nibiru, if they do activate Nibiru on the 5th summon or end of main phase, right, Rafflesia is still there. So then again, you could be greedy. Instead of going for Rafflesia, going for the rank 4 Exceed, Reborn something, and then going for the Link 2, but that's a very average play. Because again, Nibiru, right? If you know your opponent is playing Nibiru or side-acted in, it's most of the time just better to go for Rafflesia. It's just a safer play. Going first against, Tri-Brigades. It's again the deck to beat post-Lightning Overdrive. Probably the best deck next to Dragon Link. Both these decks, basically, well, I guess maybe Tri-Brigades is being played more in tournaments compared to Dragon Link, I feel, but I mean, for power level, both seem just a deck to beat in the current format. Short format, because our ban list will be is pretty much around the corner, right? July 1st, if I'm not mistaken. So the rank 4 Exceed is dropped. Murmilio again to pop or force out the back row. The Solemn Judgment it's basically a triple staple, or staple here in this deck. Stuff like Lightning Storm or that crucial back row removal like Zeus maybe. So yeah, you know what, that's why it's there. And there should be more. Yeah, okay, the 2k burn damage, definitely helps out. So now I'm able to go for game. There is the Utopia Beyond here, or double, not Beyond, but double or nothing. Yeah, it's here in the deck because, I mean, you're playing a rank 4 Exceed base deck. Basically, any rank 4 Exceed base deck, you could splash in the Utopia double. Just, if you're, it's an extra tool if you're going second. If your opponent has that low attack monster in attack position, you could capitalize on that and potentially go for game already in, the second turn of the duel. This is what I was talking about, and I was like, but I'm not sure if that might be a bit too spicy is because of this. Harpy's Feather Duster, Zeus is to go for Waking the Dragon in the main deck, maybe side deck also, or side deck, right? Because of this, like, if your opponent does have stuff like Lightning Storm, Harpy's Feather Duster, there's still the potential threat of Waking the Dragon. But yeah, who knows, like, suggestions are definitely always welcome. And yeah, this is something I can't overcome. A huge Zeus with 6, at least, it had 6 materials. And for a stun deck like this, heavily control-based deck, definitely struggles against established boards. It's very hard to get rid of Zeus. You want to set your traps, but then again, there is Zeus that will just pop your entire board before you can even use your traps. So, but personally, I kind of like Traptrix, even though it's, somewhat of a control-based, stun-based deck, heavy trap-oriented deck. I know a lot of people don't really like Traptrix. They definitely, me included, don't really like to play against the deck because it's boring to play against. But I mean, that's how it is. Maybe some paleo traps might be good in here as well, but again, like always, feel free to leave suggestions. Maybe I'm looking at the amazement cards. Those cards, they you know, they can definitely have a place in this deck as well. Okay, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching. Feel free to leave a comment or like if you enjoyed the video. LIOV out. Peace.